There could be no definition of a successful life that does not include service to others. This quote very well explains all our eminent speakers present here. Good morning, one and all. Today, I, Vaishnavi Chauhan,
And I, Samiksha Kasadhan.
on behalf of Project Vedana Sarkari School, welcome you all to the conference Unwrapping the Conversation Around Menstruation. The topic for the panel is NGOs' role in eradicating the taboos and stigmas attached to menstruation. Now, I would like to call Sneha to give a welcome address.
Nothing will ever change unless we all challenge the stereotypes, the stigma, the taboo surrounding menstruation. Good morning to everyone present here. I welcome you all to the virtual national conference organized by Project Vedana Sarkari School and We Citizen Foundation. It is my honor to welcome all the eminent speakers from across the country from different walks of life who have gathered here to share their knowledge and vast experience with us. The theme of our conference is Unwrapping the Conversation Around Menstruation. The main focus of our conference is to spread awareness about menstruation by eradicating the age-old myths and stigma attached to it, and initiating a conversation to normalize talking about menstruation. The title for this panel is NGO's Contribution in Breaking Taboos and Stigma about Surrounding Menstruation. Our esteemed panelists will shed light on the on-field perspective of social workers who have actively engaged in the battle against menstruation and school absenteeism. Thank you again for taking out your valuable time and being a part of this important initiating panel discussion. I hope everyone who is with us today and is a part of our conversation come off being inspired and more knowledgeable on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sneha, for such a warm welcome. Today, we have with us four extremely talented guest speakers Dr. Shraddha Kapile, Ms. Sachi Gajkhate, Ms. Nehal Chaudhary, and Ms. Deepika Tendulkar. We are honored to have you for this discussion and we are excited to hear your views on this topic. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you all our first guest speaker, Dr. Shraddha Kapile. Dr. Shraddha is the lead trainer at Maina Mahila Foundation. Though being a dentist by profession, she always had a passion to do something for society at the ground level. She is now the senior manager of Maina Health and plans various health programs for the girls and women in urban slums. She runs four projects under her Maina Mobile Clinic, Maina Champions, Maina Fellowship Program, and Maina Digital. Dr. Shraddha, welcome. Please kindly unmute yourself and say a few words on this topic.
Thank you so much for this warm welcome. And yes, it is a very indeed a serious topic and a natural topic as well. I think it's very important for everyone, irrespective of the gender they belong to. They should know about menstruation, get aware about it, why people menstruate, the reason behind menstruation is very important. So I think we have tapped on a very important topic, and I'm very excited to further explore the questions and answer them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker for this panel is Sachi Gazghate. So, Sachi is a biochemist by profession, curriculum developer, GTBT, MHM, SRHR, life skills, social activist, and also a Bolti Bandh fellow. Sachi is an avid menstrual and life skills educator and working towards combating period poverty for the past 10 years by spreading awareness and impacting millions of lives across the map. Ma'am, we would like you to please unmute yourself and say a few words.
Hi, thank you for the warm welcome, and I'm being privileged to being on a panel with the extremely talented panel over here. I wish that this conversation should not be on the panel and the on ground as well as we all are doing, so that it should be the what we all the aim we all are working towards the aim that 2030 it should be the the normalized thing to talk about freely. So yes, looking forward for this a national conference where we can cater and reach out to the ground level and the people who are out there listening to us. I hope that everyone who will be listening to this panel will be impacting at least one life in their life, so that we can reach out to the ground level and make an impact out there. So looking forward for this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, would you like to say something on this topic? NGOs contribution, किस तरीके से NGOs contribute करते हैं menstruation में awareness spread करने के लिए?
For sure, yeah. So there are a lot of organizations where we are working with, and there are organizations who are basically reaching out to the people where there is a need. So yes, there is a commendable job. The organizations across the map are working towards combating period poverty. Also, the period poverty is not just an Indian conceptualized thing; it's a global. So it's not just in India, but globally organizations are working, and that's a commendable job that all the organizations and the leaders are working out there. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce you all to our next guest speaker, Ms. Snehal Chaudhary. Snehal Chaudhary is the founder of Kshitij Foundation, which works in spreading awareness regarding menstruation among girls and women from rural and urban areas. Uh, do we have Ms. Snehal Chaudhary with us?
Yes. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Thank
First
you.
of all, I would like to appreciate the team. Actually, they are following up with us from so many days, and you all are very hardworking, very punctual. I really like to appreciate you. I'm very thankful to Sarkari School and We Citizens Foundation for giving us opportunity to be on the panel. First of all, I would like to wish you all happy menstrual hygiene day. Even it is, yes, it was on yesterday, but still. Uh, so I would like to talk about Kshitij Foundation. Kshitij Foundation is working on menstrual health hygiene management in education, especially in awareness things. We reach about 70,000 plus women, girls, and youth of Maharashtra. We also work for blind girls, deaf and mute, specially abled, and special girls, the counseling of their parents regarding menstrual hygiene. So, and so many NGOs are there who are working on the same issue. So, I think together we can do a big thing somewhere. So thank you for being us.
Thank you, ma'am. We really respect your words. Our last but not the least panelist for this panel is Ms. Dipali Tendulkar. Dipali Tendulkar runs an NGO, Chaitanya Social Welfare Foundation, working in the field of education, medical, and health, women empowerment, and natural disasters. For the last 8 years, she has been constantly working towards society finding sustainable solutions to issues arising in the rural as well as urban areas. Through NGO, they have impacted the lives of more than 10,000 people in India. Dipali ma'am, I would like you to please unmute yourself and say a few words.
First of all, thank you, Samiksha, for such a proud introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Dipali Tendulkar, representing our NGO, Chaitanya Social Welfare Foundation, Mumbai. First of all, thank you so much, Sarkari School, inviting me to speak on the topic NGO's contribution in breaking taboos and stigmas attached to menstruation. While working on ground level, yes, there is many stigmas attached to menstruation, like don't bath during menstruation, don't touch pickle, restrictions on eating many things, don't go far away from home, even school. So basically there is not awareness about what is periods, what is scientific reason behind it, why hygiene is so much important. Lack of awareness, they don't open up with anyone. Most of girls are not attending school even in 2022. That's why our NGO, we have started taking awareness workshops under the Project Maha, where we are educating girls through schools and also providing them eco-friendly menstrual hygiene kit, which they are use at least up to next 2 years. We have covered many tribal areas of Maharashtra. I would like to appeal from audience, if they wanted to work with us, connect with us, they can also work with us as a volunteer basis. Even they can connect with us, or a connecting dot with schools and our NGO. We would like to work on their areas, on ground level. We can arrange workshops for them also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, my first question to you is, what do you think is NGO's contribution in eradicating taboos and stigmas around menstruation? So, yeah.
Yeah, you are asking me, Samiksh.
यस दीपाली मैम, मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप इस पे थोड़ा सा और बताएं कि एनजीओ का क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है
Yes. Uh,
इरेडिकेट करने.
I think NGOs are working on ground level. Through my NGO is working in this to breaking these taboos and stigmas, or creating awareness on menstruation since last 4 years. I am working on ground level. So Maha is our project, menstrual health and hygiene awareness program for rural India, for rural women and girls of rural India. We have covered many tribal areas of Maharashtra to educating them. So basically, education is more important topic for this purpose. So we are taking workshops for that, and yes, we are doing this.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, my next question is to Shraddha मैम. श्रद्धा मैम, आप एक मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल रही हैं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स का क्या रोल होता है अवेयरनेस स्प्रेड करने में मेंस्ट्रुएशन के, और आप अपने 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में भी थोड़ा सा इलैबोरेट करें.
थैंक यू वैष्णवी. सो आई थिंक कि मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं अलॉन्ग विद अदर्स ऑफ कोर्स. सो ये जो है इट इज़ अ कंबाइंड टीम एफर्ट, जहाँ पर मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स जो हैं दे विल ऑलवेज हेल्प टू अंडरस्टैंड एग्जैक्ट फिजियोलॉजी ऑफ पीरियड्स. तो जब तक आप ये नहीं समझते हैं कि एग्जैक्टली पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं, व्हाट इज़ द फिजियोलॉजी बिहाइंड इट, तब तक आपको बाकी चीज़ें जो हैं उस पर टैप करना मुश्किल जाता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप किसी को कहना चाहते हैं कि नहीं ये हम यूजुअली बोलते हैं ना पीरियड्स में आप इम्प्योर होते हो, आप नापाक होते हो, तो व्हेन यू वांट टू टैप दैट पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक, जब तक आप उनको नहीं बताते हो कि पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं, उसकी फिजियोलॉजी क्या है, उसके पीछे का रीज़न क्या है, तब तक आप ये चीज़ को टैप नहीं कर सकते हो कि इम्प्योरिटी नहीं है, राइट. तो I in my sessions never ever tell my participants कि आप इम्प्योर नहीं होते हो, आप ये सब चीज़ें कर सकते हो नहीं कर सकते हो. मैं इनमें से किसी भी चीज़ का जवाब नहीं देती हूँ. मैं सिर्फ उन्हें समझाती हूँ कि पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं. जब उन्हें ये बात समझ में आती है कि पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं, देन आई आस्क दीज क्वेश्चंस वन बाय वन कि अच्छा अभी आपको समझ में आया कि पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं. बट आई इंश्योर ईच एंड एवरी पार्टिसिपेंट ऑफ माई सेशन अंडरस्टैंड्स पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं. आई रिपीट द होल पीरियड साइकिल एटलीस्ट 3 to 4 times slowly to make each and everyone understand, because I know क्योंकि ये टॉपिक थोड़ा हेजिटेंट टॉपिक है, तो कोई किसी को सवाल भी होगा तो कोई मुझसे डायरेक्टली उठकर सवाल नहीं पूछने वाला है, राइट. तो 3-4 बारी इसको एक्सप्लेन करने के बाद फिर देन आई गो टू द टेबू टॉपिक एंड आई आस्क कि अच्छा अभी तो आपको समझ में आया कि पीरियड्स क्यों आते हैं, तो अभी आप मुझे बताइए कि क्या आप इम्प्योर रहते हैं पीरियड्स में. और अगर आप इम्प्योर रहते हैं, देन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इफ दे स्टिल आंसर यस, देन आई आस्क देम दैट अच्छा तो अभी आप इम्प्योर हैं, तो जो बच्चा पैदा हुआ है वो भी इम्प्योर है, क्योंकि इसी की वजह से. देन दे आर लाइक नहीं बच्चे कैसे इम्प्योर हो सकते हैं, लाइक या एग्जैक्टली वो इम्प्योर नहीं हो सकते. देन यू अगेन गो बैक एंड देन यू टैप इट दैट वे. तो इस तरीके से हम इसको डील कर सकते हैं. आई थिंक वी हैव मैनी अदर NGOs ऑल्सो यहाँ पर जो सेम इशू को डील करते हैं. हर एक NGO का अलग अलग तरीका होगा इस इशू के साथ डील करने का, बट मैं इस तरीके से डील करती हूँ. आई नेवर गिव आंसर्स टू माई पार्टिसिपेंट्स, आई मेक देम थिंक अबाउट इट एंड लेट देम आंसर मी. तो ये एक चीज़ है। अब मेरे जो 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, चारों के चारों प्रोजेक्ट्स मेरे मेंस्ट्रुएशन की तरफ ही अलग-अलग तरीके से कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। तो मेरा एक चैम्पियनशिप प्रोजेक्ट है। चैम्पियनशिप प्रोजेक्ट में हम पीरियड्स के बारे में बताते हैं। सबसे पहले हम जेंडर एटीट्यूड्स को टैप करते हैं, वेयर वी मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड कि एवरीथिंग इज़ पॉसिबल इर्रिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ योर जेंडर। तो यहाँ जेंडर एटीट्यूड्स के पीछे हमारा जो मकसद है, ये है कि सोसाइटल प्रेशर या सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो हैं, इससे आप समझो वेदर इट्स अ गर्ल और अ बॉय। ऐसा नहीं है कि एवरीथिंग इज सेंट्रिक अराउंड वुमेन। हाँ, वुमेन थोड़ा ज़्यादा सफ़र करती है, बट बॉयज़ भी इक्वली सफ़र करते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशंस, राइट। तो बॉयज़ को भी बोला जाता है आप रो मत, बल्कि वो भी ह्यूमन बींग्स हैं। तो बट दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज अ सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशन दैट टेल्स बॉयज आप रो मत, है ना। तो सिमिलरली कुछ सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशंस गर्ल्स पे भी हैं। तो हम सबसे पहले सोसाइटल एक्सपेक्टेशंस को टैप करते हैं। फिर जेंडर एटीट्यूड्स के बाद वी कम टू फिजिकल हेल्थ, दैट इज यहाँ पर हम मेंस्ट्रुएशन के बारे में टैप करते हैं। वी टेल देम अबाउट मेनार्की, मेनोपॉज, पीएमएस, व्हेन टू विजिट अ डॉक्टर, डिस्पोजल, राइट प्रोडक्ट चॉइस। मैना के खुद के पैड्स भी हैं हमारे, बट वी नेवर लाइक, क्योंकि हमारे पैड्स है तो हम इन्हीं का ब्रांडिंग करेंगे, हम ऐसा कभी नहीं करते हैं। हम हमारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, हम उनको हर एक प्रोडक्ट ऑफ चॉइस का एडवांटेज एंड डिसएडवांटेज दोनों बताते हैं। देन दैट इज पार्टिसिपेंट्स चॉइस विच प्रोडक्ट टू चूज। तो हम इस तरीके से आगे बढ़ते हैं। फिर मेरा एक मोबाइल क्लिनिक वैन हमारा जाता है कम्युनिटी के अंदर। ये वैन में सिर्फ फीमेल डॉक्टर्स हैं। वाई? क्योंकि मेल डॉक्टर्स के पास जाने में शर्म आती है। खुद ही घर के घर में ही हम एक दूसरे को भी बताने में झिझकते हैं, तो मेल डॉक्टर्स तो बहुत दूर की बात रही। तो फीमेल डॉक्टर्स हैं हमारे वैन पे। एक है फिजिकल और एक है वर्चुअल जाते हैं एक डॉक्टर। लाइक हमने पर्पसली एक डॉक्टर को वर्चुअल रखा है फॉर कम्युनिटी टू बिलीव आफ्टर पैंडमिक कि वर्चुअल कंसल्टेशंस आर पॉसिबल। तो यहाँ पर हमारे कंसल्टेशंस होते हैं, हम इनको मेडिसिन भी फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट देते हैं। ये वैन में हम स्पेसिफिकली सेक्सुअल एंड रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ, मैटरनल हेल्थ और चाइल्ड हेल्थ पे डील करते हैं। फिर मेरा नेक्स्ट प्रोग्राम है फेलोशिप प्रोग्राम। यहाँ पर हमारे साथ एज फेलोज, ये हमारा अर्न एंड लर्न प्रोग्राम है। यहाँ पर जो हमारे स्लम्स में से जो लड़कियाँ हैं, ड्रॉप आउट भी हैं, कुछ अभी परस्यूइंग एजुकेशन जो पार्ट टाइम हमारे साथ करती हैं। कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो वो सीखना चाहती हैं बट दे डोंट हैव इनफ मनी। फॉर एग्जांपल MSc IT का कोर्स करने के लिए इफ यू हैव टू पे अराउंड 10,000 12,000, दे कांट अफोर्ड टू पे बट दे आर रियली विलिंग टू लर्न इट। तो ये लड़कियां हमारे साथ जुड़ती हैं, हमारे सेशंस अटेंड करती हैं और यही एम्पावर होती हैं आगे सेशंस लेने के लिए। हमारी ऐसे ऐसे एक दो लड़कियां हैं जो अभी ट्रेनर लेवल पे गई हैं। आई एम सॉरी। फिर है हमारा मैना डिजिटल। तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट ऐप एंड IVRS। हमारे ऐप पे हर तरीके के वीडियोस हैं, इस मैटरनल हेल्थ पे, सेक्सुअल एंड रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ पे, इन हिंदी लैंग्वेज। एंड इसको हम इन वीडियोस को हमने इस तरीके से बनाया है जहाँ पर लड़कियाँ खुद, जो स्लम की लड़कियाँ हैं, वो इनसे रिलेट कर सके। इनफैक्ट इनके डायलॉग्स जो हैं, आधे से ज़्यादा हमारे स्लम की लड़कियों ने, जो फेलोशिप प्रोग्राम की लड़कियां हैं, इन्होंने ही लिखे हैं। एंड देन वी गिव इट टू द वीडियो कंटेंट क्रिएटर to rectify it. So this all revolves around how to normalize the menstruation topic. So yeah, this is my 4 projects and I'll be happy to discuss anything further if we have any questions on this.
Thank you, ma'am. This would have been really a great experience for you. Our next question for you is, what, according to you, are the reasons for the continued prevalence of taboos and stigmas around menstruation? और ये टैबूज और स्टिग्मास जो गर्ल्स रूरल एरियाज में रहती हैं, उनके लिए स्पेशली ये कैसे इम्पैक्ट करता है?
सो आई थिंक हम खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं इस चीज़ के लिए, फॉर द प्रिवलेंट टेबूज एंड स्टिग्मास। हम जनरेशन से जनरेशन हम बस कैरी करते हैं ब्लाइंडली, बिना इसके बारे में सोचे। ऑल्सो एक डर रहता है ना इन चीज़ों के बारे में, बिकॉज इट इज़ अटैच टू गॉड। कोई भी चीज़ अगर आप भगवान से, रिलीजन से, धर्म से अटैच कर देंगे तो उसमें एक तो प्राइड होता है या तो फियर होता है, दो में से एक चीज़ होती है। तो ये जो मेंस्ट्रुएशन का टॉपिक है, मुझे नहीं लगता है किसी भी धर्म में लिखा है कि आप इम्प्योर हो, है ना। कोई भी रिलीजियस बुक इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेल यू कि इन दीज डेज अ वुमन इज इम्प्योर. दे विल टेल यू कि शी नीड्स रेस्ट बिकॉज शी इज ब्लीडिंग. सो उनको घर के काम, उनकी चिड़चिड़ापन, और वैसे भी अगर पहले पुराने ज़माने में जाएंगे, अभी कितने सारे प्रोडक्ट चॉइसेस हैं हमारे पास. तभी तो कपड़ा इस्तेमाल होता था, जॉइंट फैमिलीज होती थी, बड़े बड़े घर होते थे, डिश वॉशर, यूटेंसिल वॉशर, वॉशिंग मशीन्स, मिक्सर, ग्राइंडर्स, ये सब नहीं थे. तो वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो जाते पे वो कूड़े जो जिस पे कूटते हैं लाल मिर्च वगैरह, तो उसके ऊपर ये सब होता था. इट वॉज वेरी फिजिकली हैवी फॉर वुमेन टू डू ऑल ऑफ दिस. तो इसके लिए उसको रेस्ट देने के लिए हम उसको थोड़े दिन के लिए हम उसको साइड में बिठाते थे. ऑल्सो बिकॉज शी हैड जस्ट अ क्लॉथ, यू नो, शी यूज टू यूज अ क्लॉथ, तो देर वर मोर चांसेस ऑफ स्टेनिंग. और तभी के टाइम पे अगर तभी जो वैद रहते थे वो भी लाइक 5-6 गांव मिलकर एक वैद होगा. तो ये चीजें बहुत मैटर करती थी वो टाइम पे, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट वाज टोल्ड दैट शी नीड्स रेस्ट एंड हेंस यू शुड सिट असाइड. पर वो ये क्या बोलते हैं, चाइनीज विस्पर जैसा कुछ हो गया होगा, आई एम अज्यूमिंग. एंड उसके बाद वो यू आर इम्प्योर एंड यू आर नॉट सपोज टू टच. और अगर आप फ्यू एग्जाम्पल्स, लाइक अगर आप पिकल को हाथ लगाते तो पूरा पिकल बैड हो जाता है, सड़ जाता है, पापड़ लाल पड़ जाता है. एंड आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ पीपल रेडीली बिलीव इट. सो इन माई सेशंस आई चैलेंज देम दैट आप अगर ये करके दिखाते हैं and you come back to me and we will sit and solve why does this pickle go bad after you touch it. पिकल तो वैसे भी आप कोई भी मतलब हाथ बिना धोए या कोई भी इम्प्योर हैंड अगर आप पिकल के अंदर डालोगे तो पिकल तो बैड जाने ही वाला है, अचार तो खराब होने ही वाला है. सो इट इज नॉट स्पेसिफिकली रिलेटेड टू मेंस्ट्रुएटर्स क्योंकि आप मेंस्ट्रुएट करते हैं, क्योंकि आप बहुत इम्प्योर है, और इसीलिए इट कॉजेस अ वेरी different impact on the menstruator's mental health, thinking that she is so impure. Back when I was small, I still remember my mom had told me when I got my first period, you're not supposed to touch the tulsi plant, otherwise it will die. And I felt so bad. I'm like, इतनी बुरी हो जाती हूँ मैं इन 5 दिनों में कि अगर मैं तुलसी प्लांट को टच कर दूंगी तो वो मर जाएगा. एंड देन आई डिसाइडेड नो आई नीड टू चेक दिस. तो मॉम फिर एज यूजुअल जब सब्जी वगैरह खरीदने बाजार गई, आई एम लाइक ठीक है, टच करके देख लेते हैं. अगर अगर सच्ची में मर जाता है तो वी कैन ब्रिंग अ न्यू तुलसी प्लांट, अगर नहीं मरता है तो आई नो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, राइट. So I touched it. And I just did not touch one leaf. I touched the whole plant, like from top to bottom, अच्छे से all the sides to check कि मरता है या नहीं. तो नहीं मरा वो तुलसी प्लांट. इट वॉज वेरी मच अलाइव. तो देर आर फ्यू थिंग्स, फैक्ट्स जो हम खुद कुछ चीजें कभी कभी क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हैं. एंड आई थिंक देर इज नो हार्म इन डूइंग ऑल ऑफ दिस and understanding. So to answer your question, why does this still prevail is we are the reason. हम नहीं चूज करते हैं इसके बारे में बात करना, हमको ही बहुत शर्म आती है इसके बारे में बात करने के लिए. तो जब तक आप खुद बात नहीं करते हैं तब तक अपोजिट पर्सन इज नॉट गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू आर डीलिंग विथ, है ना. Any opposite gender, any person who is not a menstruator, since they are not experiencing this particular natural experience, they will not understand what you're going through. So it is your duty to talk about it, and it is very natural. Everyone knows कि अगर आपको periods नहीं आते हैं या irregular हो जाते हैं तो आपको पता है कि आपको body कुछ signs दे रहा है that there is something wrong, which means you have to cater to it. तो आपको पता है कि ये नेचुरल है तो भी आप नहीं इसके बारे में बात करते हैं, तो ये आपकी गलती है. तो सबसे पहले हमें शुरू करना है, स्टार्ट टेकिंग द पैड पैकेट्स आउट ऑफ द मेडिकल शॉप विदाउट रैपिंग इट इन द न्यूज़पेपर. वेरी बेसिक कॉमन स्टेप्स. लेट पीपल स्टेयर. एंड आई एम वेरी श्योर ये जो स्टेयरिंग है, एवरीथिंग, ये सब एक हद के बाद बंद हो जाने वाला है. विद द वे आई think we are going ahead and we are tapping the young generation. बिलीव मी, इन स्कूल्स एंड कॉलेजेस व्हेन आई डू दिस सेशन, आई टेक अ कोएड सेशन. अगर मैं कॉलेज में ये सेशन करती हूँ, आई एब्सोल्युटली लाइक मुझे 3 बारी शायद प्रिंसिपल्स, डायरेक्टर्स जो हैं, बिलीव मी, इवन लाइक मैं मुंबई में हूँ, मुझे इनके साथ स्पेशली बैठ के इनको समझाना पड़ता है कि मुझे कोएड सेशन ही लेना है. दे डोंट अलाउ सो इजीली. So I see to it that I take a co-ed session and I deal with this with boys and girls together to break the stigma around this and the questions that boys pose me after this. You should just look at it. And every time, it's been 4 years मैं ये काम कर रही हूँ, but 4 साल के बाद भी आज भी अगर कोई लड़का मुझसे इसको लेकर सवाल पूछता है, एक कॉमन क्वेश्चन तो ये होता है, हाउ डू यू थिंक मैम आई कैन हेल्प विद दिस. ये अभी तक मेरे दिल को उतना ही छूता है कि एटलीस्ट अभी सिर्फ एक लड़का नहीं, ये किसी का बेटा है, किसी का फ्यूचर हस्बैंड है, किसी का फ्रेंड है, किसी के पिता बनने वाले हैं. आई हैव सेंसिटाइज्ड सो मेनी पीपल एट अ स्ट्रेच. तो ये चीज़ मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगती है. तो ये धीरे धीरे बंद हो जाएगा, प्रोवाइडेड वी स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट इट.
Absolutely, ma'am. I love the way you challenge this taboos and stigmas. My one last question for you is: despite the rapid advancement of our society in different aspects, it feels like our mentality around menstruation is not progressing at the same rate. As a menstruator yourself, what are your thoughts on the current state of menstrual awareness? How would you spread awareness on this?
So, why I think one thing I feel is बहुत ज़्यादा पेट्रियार्की है ना, हम इसको डिनाई नहीं कर सकते हैं. पेट्रियार्की है, और जैसे मैंने अभी कहा कि जो अपोजिट जेंडर हैं, जिनको इसके बारे में कुछ पता नहीं, जो ये एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करते हैं, इधर सेंसिटाइजेशन बहुत कम है. सो they might know why periods occur, but they are not sensitized towards the topic. So I'll give you 2 examples which I feel बहुत they are very near and dear to my heart. मेरा भाई जब वो 7th स्टैंडर्ड में था, मेरे नाना की डेथ हो गई थी, और हमने तभी वो ड्यूरेशन में कुछ 10-15 दिन मिस किए थे, और मेरे भाई को वो टाइम पे ही वॉज एन ICSE बोर्ड, तो आई थिंक इनको थोड़ा जल्दी ये सब चीज़ें बता देते हैं. तो 7th स्टैंडर्ड में ही उसको ये टॉपिक था. And after coming back, he knew that he has to cover up for his missed lessons, so he was reading on this topic. I had already entered my dentistry that time. तो रीड किया उसने, एंड देन वो रीड करने के बाद उसको वो डाइजेस्ट नहीं हुआ कि वो क्या रीड कर रहा है. तो 2-3 बारी शायद उसने रीड किया होगा, एंड देन ही केम टू मी. आई एम हिज एल्डर सिस्टर, मेरे को और एक छोटी बहन है, और उसके नीचे एक भाई है. तो he came to me and he's like, I'll talk in Marathi. ताई मला हे समजत नाही आहे, तर प्लीज तू मला एक्सप्लेन कर. I was also hesitant at that time, not very much comfortable talking about this, but my brother was very brilliant, always a topper. तो मैंने बोला यार अभी नहीं उसको बताऊंगी तो शायद इसके मार्क्स हैम्पर हो जाएंगे, चलो छोड़ो बता देते हैं क्या है. तो पूरा एक्सप्लेन कर दिया उसको टॉपिक. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर, ये पूरा टॉपिक एक्सप्लेन करने के बाद ना लिटरली 2 minutes ऑफ साइलेंस जो होता है ना, लाइक मेरी तरफ से इट वाज लाइक हाउ फाइनली आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड इट टू हिम, एंड उसकी तरफ से इट वाज लाइक ओ माय गॉड इतना सारा होता है. एंड आफ्टर 2 minutes ऑफ सायलेन्स ही इज आस्किंग मी, ताई हे तुला होतं? तर आय एम लाईक हां मला होतं. अँड देन मम्मीला पण होतं? लाईक हां मम्मीला पण होतं. अंकिता ताईला पण होतं? हां अंकिता ताईला पण होतं. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट उसके बाद उसने खुद खिचड़ी बनाना सीख लिया. एवरी टाइम वी आर ऑन बेड, for any reason, not necessary menstruation, menstrual cramps or menstrual pain, every time we are on bed he used to get so scared, oh my god maybe इनको periods आए हैं, I think I should help. And then he'll start cooking. ताई तुला पाट दाबून देऊ का, ताई तुला पाय दाबून देऊ का, ताई तुला warm water bag आणून देऊ का. So I had explained all of this to him. So and then I realized that time यार इतने भी बुरे नहीं होते हैं, इनको सिर्फ पता नहीं होता है कि क्या हो रहा है. अगर हम सही तरीके से उनको बता दें तो अपने ही तो लोग हैं, क्यों हमसे ही तो प्यार करते हैं, मेरा ही तो भाई है. ही अंडरस्टूड व्हाट आई एम गोइंग थ्रू एंड देन ही हेल्प्ड मी आउट. सिमिलरली शादी के बाद मेरा अरेंज मैरिज है, तो माय हस्बैंड इज एन एडवोकेट, ही इज अ नॉन मेडिको. तो 3-4 महीने माई पीरियड्स, आई हैव वेरी सीवियर पीरियड क्रैम्प एंड थोड़ा पीएमएस भी है मेरे को. लाइक पीरियड्स आने के पहले आई माइट क्राई आउट, आई माइट हैव वेरी इरिटेटेड situations. So he always, like 3-4 months, मैं और मेरे हस्बैंड हम झगड़ा करते थे कि he used to feel that I'm doing नाटक क्योंकि मुझे काम नहीं करना है, and I used to feel कैसे इंसान से मैंने शादी कर लिया, इतना बेरहम है. आई एम इन पीरियड क्रैम्प्स एंड ही इज नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि मेरे को पीरियड क्रैम्प आया हुआ है, एंड ही स्टिल एक्सपेक्टिंग मी टू गो डाउन एंड एटलीस्ट सर्व पीपल. वो होता है ना नई नवेली दुल्हन वाला थिंग. तो आई एम लाइक, एंड आई वाज वेरी, मैं पहले से ही थोड़ी मुंहफट टाइप, सो आई एम लाइक आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डू सर्विंग्स एंड एवरीथिंग, आई एम इन पेन, आपको जो करना है कर लो, kind of. And then after 3-4 months of these fights, I realized ये तो non medico है, he will not understand what I am going through. And then first I chose to ask my mother-in-law कि आपको PMS, period cramp ये सब होता था क्या? She's like नहीं, ये सब मुझे कभी नहीं हुआ. Then I asked my sister-in-law, she's like कभी नहीं, I don't even know what period cramp means. Periods आते हैं और जाते हैं. Then I understood कि because of all these things, he doesn't know what it means to have periods. Then one day I chose to sit with him, explain him the whole period cycle with a proper diagrammatic chart and everything. And then he got sensitized. 9 साल मेरे शादी को अभी हुए हैं, मेरे को periods आए ना, मेरे दोनों बच्चों को भी he'll handle my mood swings also. I might cry, I might get irritated with very very small little things. He understands it. सो फ्यू थिंग्स दैट जब तक आप नहीं बात करते हो, अपोजिट लोगों को नहीं समझने वाला है. तो आपको बात करना सीखना है इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में. और जिस तरीके से यंग जनरेशन इसको टैप करती है, आई थिंक ये पॉसिबल है. इट इज़ नॉट एन इम्पॉसिबल मिशन एट ऑल. सो आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट विद ourselves and we should start with sensitization.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like Ms. Sachi Gazghate to please answer my question. My first question to you is, as someone who has worn many caps in their journey to create menstrual awareness, and someone who has trained other leaders like teachers, Anganwadis, and etc., in your opinion, what are some of the key characteristics that the emerging generation of menstrual leaders need to possess to be effective in their goals?
I would love to thank you for asking these questions, because there are lot of youngsters who are like turning towards taking this as a career option. When I chosen this as a career option 10 years back, being a menstrual educator, it was like next to impossible. But nowadays there are a lot of youngsters who are pursuing this as a menstrual educator as a career, and I'm really happy that youngsters are coming out there and breaking the silence out there, and starting the communicating what is the need of an era, right? So I would love to have a lot of, like, on ground, on online platform, there are very much people, there are very much youngsters out there who wanted to pursue this and wanted to come upfront for being very much vocal towards the menstrual hygiene management. For the youngsters who are pursuing this, I would like to give just a three C's. Uh, First is consent. Whenever you are giving an education sessions to the youngsters or any age group, because whenever we are catering, we all are the menstrual educators out here on a panel, and we know that whenever we are catering to the different age group, we have to deal with the different categories, or like we have to engage participants or our beneficiaries in a different manner if they are coming from the different age groups, right? So therefore you have to be very much upfront to get the consent first. That's the first C. Consent is very much required when we are turning towards or touching to the taboo topic, just like a menstrual hygiene management or a sexual wellness. So we need to be very much upfront about to make a consent where we will be making them very much comfortable zone to and making an aura out there whenever we are doing an education sessions with the any age group. Just make an aura where people should be very much comfortable to speak about it, speak about their problems, come up with their questions, so that, like, there are a lot of people out there in the society, they do have questions, they suffer through the pains, they suffer through the different kind of things, but they do not ask the questions. And that's how youngsters role come out there, because being in a new generations, we are very much upfront and a vocal than the last generations. And if we say like, if you're 5 years old, the generation change, right? Every 5 years older, generation changes, and there is a lot of generation gaps that we find out there. So if whenever there is an youngsters are doing education sessions with the oldies, or like the people who are turning towards a menopauses, so we have to be make sure that there should be a consent over it, there should be a comfort zone when we are talking towards it. And the communication, the way of communication should be very much comforting, so that everyone, or like your beneficiary should come to you, ask questions to you, and get their results, or like get their solutions which are very much satisfying to their mindsets, and making a change out there. Of course, each one who is doing, we all, the menstrual educator, we all needs to educate first ourselves, like before going out there and giving an education sessions to the millions of peoples out there. I being a menstrual educator since past 10 years, I've worked with the different organizations, and with the help of, I would love to thank all the organizations I've been working with. And especially the PSAFE, when I'm leading a campaign called an Hakse period across the India. We have collaborated with more than 250 organizations, NGOs, out of the country, out of the world, where we have get a lot of responses, where youngsters wanted to come up and wanted to be a menstrual educator, and they wanted to have the proper education sessions, so that, or a TOTs, we say it's a TOT, the MHM TOT, which is a training of trainer, so that we should create more trainers among ourselves, and give them a privilege to reach out to the ground strata and make the change out there. So that's why these three C's, what I was saying, is consent, comfort, and the communication, along with the proper knowledge that's required to become a menstrual educator out there. The youngsters who wanted to become a menstrual educator, they have to be very much upfront and updated with the knowledge. See, when I've started the career in 10 years back, there was a very shush topic. I come from a city called Akola from Maharashtra, where there is no single, there was actually, but now we are working in the different working with the different college students, and working with the different status. I believe Mrs. Nehil ma'am is also working in Akola as well. So yeah, so there are lot of things that are coming up out there. A lot of organizations are coming up with their own initiatives and innovative ideations to break the taboo, to break the silence out there, and make them make people vocal about what things are going on, and what the updated knowledge that should be provided to the young generation. Because see, whenever we do like we if we are not educating people, or not educating the youngster or adolescents in our home itself, or in the schools, they might go on a quick platform where they'll be getting a quick information, that's a Google. And Google is an open platform where you can get the misconceptualized or misinformation out there as well. It's not right that you can get the correct information on a Google every time, right? Google is an open platform, and you can get the millions of different kind of information. If you're searching for the one thing, and you'll be getting the 10,000 results out there. So you should be very precise in a manner, so that you are grabbing a good kind of a knowledge. And you require, whenever we wanted to be an educator, we always go through a mental educator, where we can get the proper knowledge around it. It's not just you can Google it, you can learn it, and you can do it. No, being a researcher, as well as I'm a biochemist, I have researched in my own field as well on the menstrual hygiene management itself. Because see, if I am choosing this as a career, I have to be very precise in a manner. I have to be very gentle as well, gentle as well, for this sensitizing topic when it comes to the impacting mindsets out there. So definitely, we have to educate our adolescents, we have to educate the youngsters, we have to educate the families as well, because it's not just urban or it's not just a rural people where there is a requirement of the awareness. There are people in the urban strata where there is a requirement of a lot of knowledge, and the change has to be made out there. Because I have seen a lot of urban people who ask who ask menstruators in their house to sit at the different place, or sleep at the different bed, or to have their meal in a different place. So this data is not just in the rural one. This data we can find it in the urban people as well. So that's why there is a requirement of a knowledge, requirement of a awareness that should be generated within the generations. It's not just about the adolescents or youngsters. We should educate all the age groups out there. I remember in 2017 I was doing an education session in Pune, where Pune in Baramati, if you ever heard about. So there was an Aji, the oldie, who has passed her menopauses and every other thing, but she wanted to attend a session so that she can educate the young menstruators in her own home and just break the taboo. Can you see the mindset of that oldie? She is still a younger. She is still a youngster out there by her mindset. So that's why we need to create this mindsets out there. So this is how we can bring up a change together.
Thank you, ma'am. Um, I'm sure you are a proud menstruator. So I want to know, instead of being silent and ashamed, why cannot be loud and proud about our periods? So what message would you like to give to all the menstruators who are watching, even non-menstruator, to be loud about it, to speak about it?
I would like to use this platform to make an awareness to the people who are listening to the panel, that menstruators are not just a women, and all women are not the menstruator. There are other gender as well who do menstruate, right? So we need to be, as rightly said by Dr. Shraddha, is we need to make and gender inclusive when we are talking towards a menstrual hygiene management. It's and men's role in menstruation is a definitely a lot of things out there who require a menstruator requires in her in their life, so that non-menstruators should be getting help by a non-menstruator, her companion who do not menstruate but can but can give her a comfort during her menstrual cycles. Also, a lot of people get confused within the menstruation and menstrual cycle. Menstruation is just a part of menstrual cycle. We need to educate ourselves around the menstrual cycle, the whole as in whole. It's not just a menstruation, it's a menstrual cycle as in whole. So my message to all the people out there, um, is there something? I guess there is certain disturbance. Yeah. So okay, so my message to all the menstruators and non-menstruators out there, um, each one has to be educated themselves. Once you educate yourself, you have to educate. Just pledge on this. Like, we have passed on our International Menstrual Hygiene Day yesterday, but it's not just a one day that we should celebrate. Menstrual hygiene management has to be a topic of awareness. We all organizations are working the year across and celebrating one day. So it's a thing that overall a year we impact a millions of life out there and celebrate at the one day that impacts a life, and that impacts, of course, that impacting millions of life out there. So my message to the menstruators and non-menstruators, it's just to educate themselves first, and educate at least one people in their life, so that one person in their life, so that it should be a spread of word, and we can curate an awareness and generate a generation where there will be no such taboo topic, I'll say, about menstrual hygiene management, and we will be living in an era by 2030 where menstrual hygiene management is a topic where we can have an open conversations and generate an awareness where it'll be a very normalized to talk around the menstruators and non-menstruators. We need to include all the genders. It's not just a menstruator who should talk about. We need to include all the genders within the communication when we are doing around the menstrual hygiene management. So it should not be a shush topic. That's
Thank
it.
you so much, ma'am. I totally agree with your views that we should start from somewhere and we should not be ashamed about it. Uh, Thank you again. Now, I would like to know, Snehal, your views on some of our questions. So, my first question to you is, as someone who specializes in spreading awareness regarding menstruation to girls from all walks of life, how do you deal with the added complexities of spreading awareness in rural and tribal areas?
अ, तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है जब हम रूरल एरिया में वर्क करते हैं, एक्चुअली ब्लीड द साइलेंस कैंपेन इज गोइंग ऑल ओवर इन महाराष्ट्र, तो सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स है, टीम है जो वहाँ पे वर्क कर रही है। एज साची सेड कि हम अकोला में भी काम कर चुके हैं, राइट नाउ वी आर एट बुल्ढाना, सो दिस साइड ऑफ महाराष्ट्र। तो अभी अगर हम रूरल एरिया की अगर बात करें तो क्या होता है, मोस्टली कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज क्या आती है कि गर्ल्स को जब हम एडुकेट करते हैं रिगार्डिंग मेंस्ट्रुअल हाइजीन, तो द प्रॉब्लम इज कि जब वो ट्रेनिंग लेके या सेशन लेके घर पे जाती है तो उनको पेरेंट को कन्विंस करना बहुत ज़्यादा टफ हो जाता है कि रिगार्डिंग मीट्स टैबूज एंड अदर मिसकंसेप्शंस, पेरेंट्स कन्विंस नहीं होते इस चीज़ के लिए। तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं ब्लीड द साइलेंस कैंपेन में, वी इंक्लूड पेरेंट्स इन द सेशन। तो उस वजह से क्या होता है कि अगर पेरेंट ने वो सब मिसकंसेप्शन क्या होती है या फिर साइंटिफिकली क्या क्या किया जा सकता है, ये अगर वो बात समझे तो गर्ल्स को इजी जाता है ये सब चीज़ें समझने में या फिर अडॉप्ट करने में, या फिर पेरेंट्स भी अच्छे से उनको सपोर्ट करते हैं। दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग। और उसमें सेकंडली क्या होता है जब हम स्पेशल गर्ल्स या फिर जो हम विशेष मुली ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, तो जो स्पेशल गर्ल्स रहती है उनको हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि उनके पेरेंट को हम एडुकेट करते हैं या फिर काउंसलिंग करते हैं, एटलीस्ट वो इतनी इंडिपेंडेंट हो कि एटलीस्ट उनका पैड जो है वो खुद ले सके, या फिर उनका जो हाइजीन है वो खुद के खुद मेंटेन मैनेज कर सके, इतना हम लोग ये करते हैं। एंड द थर्ड थिंग, स्पेशली जब हम रूरल एरिया की अगर बात करें तो वहाँ पे क्या होता है कि महिला अभी भी कपड़ा यूज करती है, तो कपड़ा भी अगर यूज करे तो उसमें कुछ गलत बात नहीं है, बट वो कैसा यूज करती है, वो हाइजीन कैसे मेंटेन करती है। तो क्या होता है कपड़ा वो जब सुखाती है तो ऐसे जगह पे सुखाती है जहाँ पे मेल कैंडिडेट देख ना सके, मीन्स पुरुषांपासनं, असं मराठी में असं बोलते हैं की पुरुषांपासनं अशा ठिकाणी ते ठेवा की त्यांची नजर त्यांच्यापर्यंत जायला नको। सो ऐसे जगह पे वो कपड़ा कहीं पे भी अगर लकड़ी हो या फिर उनका रूफ हो, वहां पे कहीं पे भी वो छुपा देती है या फिर ड्राई के लिए रखती है, तो वहां पे भी फिर इन्फेक्शन का बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम आता है। सेकेंडली की डिस्पोजेबल मैकेनिज्म, अगर हम रूरल की एरिया को पैड्स भी दे तो वहां पे डिस्पोजल का बहुत ज्यादा इशू रहता है कि वो डिस्पोज कैसे करे, क्योंकि ओपनली कहीं पे भी गार्बेज में वो जाके गांव में ऐसा कुछ कहाँ पे जला नहीं सकती या फिर कहीं पे, तो हम उनको डिस्पोजेबल मैकेनिज्म के लिए भी बहुत ज़्यादा एडुकेट करते हैं, क्योंकि अगर हम स्कूल्स भी देखें ग्रामीण एरिया की, वहाँ पे भी इंसिनरेटर्स या फिर डिस्पोजेबल मशीन कुछ भी लगी हुई नहीं है। अगर लगी हुई भी है वहाँ पे लोड शेडिंग का इश्यू रहता है या फिर उतना मेंटेनेंस भी नहीं रहता वो जगह पे कि वो अच्छे तरीके से हो जाए। दीज आर द मोस्ट चैलेंजेस की ये सब चैलेंजेस ज्यादा तरीके से वहां पे आती है। तो हम लोगों ने क्या किया था अभी बुल्ढाना में, हमने लास्ट मंथ आई थिंक, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं सिर्फ एक बार सेशन लेके नहीं होने वाला है, तो बार बार उनको सेशन लेके उनको फॉलो अप लेना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी होता है। तो लास्ट टाइम हम लोगों ने क्या किया कि बुल्ढाना में कोलवड़ करके एक बहुत इंटीरियर पार्ट में एक गांव है, वहां पे जाके स्कूल में पहले एडुकेट किया इंक्लूडिंग बॉयज। ये फिर क्या होगा वो गर्ल्स फिर गांव की जो जो लड़कियां थी, और गांव में क्या रहता है ना कि जिला परिषद की जो लड़कियां रहती है गांव की लड़कियां गांव में पढ़ती है, बट वहां के जो बॉयज रहते हैं वो कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में तालुका प्लेसेस में या फिर डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्लेसेस में पढ़ने के लिए जाते हैं। तो मोस्टली वहां पे ऐसा रहता है कि जो जिनके पेरेंट्स थे वो तो वहां पे एजुकेशन लेने आ गए थे एमएचएम के ऊपर, बट बहुत सारे लोग अभी भी गांव में थे जो ये सब टैबूज और मीट्स के बारे में उनको अच्छे से पता नहीं था। हम लोगों ने क्या किया फिर रैली निकाली गांव में से, तो जब वो गर्ल्स रैली में स्लोगन्स या फिर बहुत बड़ी बड़ी घोषणा दे रही थी और मेंसेस के ऊपर या फिर पीरियड्स के ऊपर बहुत अच्छे से बात कर रही थी, स्ट्रीट प्लेस कर रही थी, तो वो क्या हुआ ना, वो एक ओपन डिस्कशन के जैसे हुआ कि गांव में आप ओपनली इस बारे में बात कर रहे हो, जहाँ पे आपको बाहर निकलना भी अलाउड नहीं है 4 दिन में, वहां पे आप ओपनली गांव में रैली निकाल रहे हो। ये सब जो चीजें थी ना, तो उनका जो हैप्पीनेस था या फिर उनको जो फ्रीडम मिलने की जो खुशी थी ना, वो एक्चुअली देखने जैसे थे। मुझे लगता है कि जितना ज्यादा हम ओपनली बात करें या फिर हम छोटी छोटी चीजें जैसे हम जैसे बड़ी गर्ल्स रहती है और जिनके पीरियड्स आने वाले हैं, उनको अगर हम लेटर लिखे कि मेरे भी पीरियड्स आए थे, कि पीरियड्स में ऐसे चीजें होती है, या फिर पैड्स कैसे लेना है, वो डिस्पोज कैसे करना है, क्या क्या खाना चाहिए क्या नहीं खाना चाहिए, ऐसा अगर लेटर हम छोटी बच्चियों को अगर लिख सके कि जिनके पीरियड्स आने वाले हैं, तो वो भी दैट वाज द आई थिंक बेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ क्षितिज फाउंडेशन जो हम लोगों ने लिया था, लाइक लेटर राइटिंग टू द गर्ल्स हु आर गोइंग टू बी ऑन देयर पीरियड्स। तो ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें हम लोगों ने अगर ली तो वो बहुत अच्छे से हो पाती है। यस।
Thank you, ma'am, for explaining your points very well. I'm sure you will continue spreading smiles on many young girls and women. Our second question to you is, what is the ground reality with regards to menstruation and school absenteeism of girls in the areas that your NGO covers?
ओके, एक्चुअली स्कूल्स में या फिर रूरल एरिया में मोस्टली क्या होता है कि गर्ल्स स्कूल में नहीं आती है 5 दिनों में। तो उसका मेनली रीजन क्या होता है कि वहाँ पे टॉयलेट्स प्रॉपरली कंस्ट्रक्टेड नहीं होते। दिस इज द मेन रीजन। अगर टॉयलेट्स होंगे फिर वहाँ पे सफिशिएंट वाटर नहीं रहता, या फिर वहाँ पे पानी नहीं आता है, तो फिर पैड्स चेंज करना और ये सब चीज़ों के लिए उनको प्रॉब्लम जाता है। सेकेंडली, अगर एक थोड़ा सा बड़ा गांव हो, वहां पे अगर स्कूल हो, तो आजू बाजू के जो भी छोटे गांव रहते हैं वहां से लड़कियां वहां पे स्कूल में आती, वो बड़े गांव में स्कूल में आते, तो उनको साइकिल पे आना पड़ता है। तो वो दैट इज द मेन थिंग। तो या फिर बारिश के अगर दिन हो तो साइकिलिंग करके स्कूल तक आओ, ये भी एक रीजन है कि स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट गर्ल्स जो है उनका ये भी एक रीजन है। और जैसे मैंने टॉयलेट कंस्ट्रक्शन बोला, देन पानी की वहाँ पे फैसिलिटी नहीं है, या फिर वहाँ पे स्कूल्स में भी जैसे वेंडिंग मशीन्स बिठाए हुए नहीं है, या फिर उनका स्टॉक वहाँ पे नहीं रहता है कि टीचर्स उनको दे सके पैड्स वगैरह, ये एक चीजें भी रहती। और अगर हम लोग विमेन के बारे में बात करते हैं तो क्या होता है कि गांव की जो महिलाएं रहती है वो फार्म में जाती है। तो फार्म में भी प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि वो सुबह जाती है और रात को लौट के आती है, तो दिन भर में उनको अगर पैड चेंज करना हो तो वो बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत रहती है कि वो पैड कहाँ पे चेंज करे। ये सब चीजें, ये बहुत बड़ा एक प्रॉब्लम है जो वो फेस करती है। तो उसकी वजह से वो क्या होता है, एक बार सुबह वो पैड या फिर कपड़ा लेके गई तो वो रात को ही फिर आने के बाद मीन्स कितने भी घंटे हो, 8 9 10 घंटे, तो फिर उसके ऊपर ही वो काम करती है। वो फिर इसके वजह से भी पैड वो कंटिन्यूसली चेंज नहीं करती है, इसके वजह से भी इन्फेक्शन की ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम जो है वो रूरल एरिया में आती है। और हम लोगों ने देखा कि जब हम लोग ब्लीड द साइलेंस की जो कैंपेन थी वो थोड़ा बीड़, उस्मानाबाद, सोलापुर ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जब लेते थे, तो वहाँ पे जो केन कटर विमेन रहते थे, वहाँ पे ना ऊस तोड़ कामगार जला में म्हणतो कि वहाँ पे केन का बहुत ज्यादा फार्म्स रहता है। वो केन कटिंग के लिए वो फैक्ट्रीज में वहां से केन जाता है। तो वो विमेन क्या करती है कि पीरियड्स अगर होंगे तो उनको 2 से 3 दिन का छुट्टी लेना पड़ता है। तो उसके वजह से उनका जो दिन भर का ही जो कुछ कमाई होंगी वो उसका मिस हो जाता है, इसलिए वो वुमेन अपना वूम निकाल लेती है। तो ये जो है उस्मानाबाद, बीड़, सोलापुर ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट में बहुत ज्यादा इसकी प्रॉब्लम है कि वो डायरेक्टली जो महिलाएं वो प्रिफर करती है कि वो अपना गर्भाशय ही निकाल ले। तो this was the major issue which we faced in I think last 2 years, कि इनको एडुकेट करना, इनको अवेयर करना कि ये सब चीजें नहीं होनी चाहिए। अगर आप अपना गर्भाशय ही निकाल रहे हो इस एज में जहाँ पे आपको एक्चुअली कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, सिर्फ इस वजह से कि आप लाइक छुट्टी लेनी पड़ती है तो फिर आपको काम से निकाल देंगे, फिर रोजी रोटी जो है वो कैसे कमा लेंगे. सो दीज आर द मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स इन द रूरल एरिया, और स्पेशली जब हम ज़्यादा ट्राइबल जोन्स में जब काम करते हैं ये सब चीज़ें सामने आती है. जैसे अब हम गढ़चिरौली एरिया में अगर जाएंगे तो वो ज़्यादा ट्राइबल एरिया है, तो वहाँ पे कुर्मागस रहते हैं. तो वहाँ पे क्या करती है महिला है, 5 दिन जो है वो गांव के बाहर एक हट रहती है, वहाँ पे जाके वो रहती है. तो वहाँ पे जाके जो वो रहती है ना, तो वहाँ पे अगर आप वो कुर्मा घर अगर देखे तो वहाँ पे भी पैड्स या फिर वो जो कपड़ा वो यूज करती है वहाँ पे भी ऐसे लटका के रखती है. तो उसमें स्नॅक्स है या फिर ज्याला आपण विंचू म्हणतो किंवा ऐसे बहुत सारी लिजार्ड्स है वहाँ पे आती जाती रहती है. अगर आप वो कुर्मा घर देखे तो वो इतने अनहाइजीनिक होते हैं कि बहुत इन्फेक्शन वहाँ पे रहता है. फिर वही वो कपड़ा वो लेंगी या फिर इस तरीके से जो कुछ हो रहा है, दैट इज द वेरी चैलेंजिंग इन रूरल एंड ट्राइबल एरियाज ऑफ महाराष्ट्र.
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am. I hope you would have definitely inspired people from your work. Now, I would like to call Miss Dipali Tendulkar. Ma'am, we would love to listen your answers on few of our questions. Our first question is, being the founder of Chaitanya Social Welfare Foundation, what is your organization's most effective scheme or program to create awareness on the issues surrounding menstruation?
Yes. Uh, right now, in 2022, we are running this project Maha, Menstrual Health and Hygiene Awareness Campaign for rural India. And we have come with the aim that we can reach in 2022, we can reach up to 2022 girls and women. पिछले 4-5 years में हम लोग ने जो टारगेट अचीव किया है, जो अवेयरनेस हम लोग ने क्रिएट किया है, मतलब आई वी वेंट टू द स्कूल की डोनेशन ड्राइव एट अ स्कूल एट गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स ऑफ विक्रमगढ़, इट इज़ इन महाराष्ट्र. सो वहाँ के टीचर्स हमें बताने लगे कि अगर गर्ल्स को पीरियड्स आते हैं तो वो स्कूल से किसी को बिना बताए घर पे निकल जाती है. मतलब किसी को नहीं बताती, अगले 5 दिन वो स्कूल नहीं आ पाती. सो वी हैव डिसाइडेड देयर इज मच अनअवेयरनेस अबाउट व्हाट इज पीरियड्स, हाउ टू मैनेज इट, हाउ टू डील इट, और उनके पास मेंस्ट्रुअल हाइजीन के प्रोडक्ट भी एक्सेसिबल नहीं होते. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव स्टार्टेड कि एटलीस्ट वी कैन एजुकेट सम ऑफ द गर्ल्स that what is periods, how to manage it, and we can if they don't have access to menstrual product, then we can distribute them that the product of free of cost. So yes, this is my project Maha, which we are running this in our tribal areas of Maharashtra. Thank you.
थैंक यू मैम. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोजेक्ट एंड काफ़ी अच्छे से आपने बताया आपका महा प्रोजेक्ट किस तरीके से वर्क करता है. मेरा एक और क्वेश्चन है कि एज समवन हु हैज एजुकेटेड मोर देन 2000 गर्ल्स and women about periods, what are some of the challenges that you had to face in dealing with the families and girls who has a very stigmatized mindset around menstruation?
Yes, there are many challenges which we are facing every single day. But I would like to highlight one challenge, that problem word is big problem for us. मतलब मुझे पीरियड आया है, ये मुझे अगर किसी को बताना है तो मैं क्या बोलूँगी, आई हैव अ प्रॉब्लम, मुझे प्रॉब्लम आया है. अगर आपके घर में योर आंट, योर टीचर, योर मदर कॉलिंग इट एज अ प्रॉब्लम, देन वो छोटी बच्ची भी उसको प्रॉब्लम ही बोलेंगी. क्यों वो उसको दूसरा कुछ मेंस्ट्रुएशन ये कुछ बोलेंगी. तो आई थिंक सो दैट वी शुड चेंज अवर माइंडसेट about periods. Problem ka what is the meaning of problem? There is something negative that we cannot highlight this, yeah, problem word. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि we should stop calling menstruation as a problem, and we should change our mindset, because menstruation is not a problem, it's a welcoming change of our body. We should accept it. or we should stop calling it as a problem. So this is the big challenge for me to remove this problem word from my I am creating awareness in my workshop. So what happened, अगर ये वर्कशॉप में गर्ल्स को पता चलता है, गर्ल्स इस पे अवेयर हो जाती है, तो वो क्या करती है, वो अपने घर पे जाके मदर्स को इसके बारे में बताती है कि ये ऐसा नहीं है, इसको प्रॉब्लम नहीं बोलना है. तो आई थिंक ये बिग चैलेंज फॉर मी. एंड अवेयरनेस हो रहा है, थैंकफुल टू अवेयरनेस इस चीज का भी हो रहा है. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I hope people will really change this word as a problem.
Yes.
So our next question to you is, menstruation is something that has been a part of our lives, our truth, since beginning of the time. According to you, why do people still hesitate to talk about it?
Uh, okay. Let's see. Our grandmother not able to talk about anything about periods. Then our mother can talk little bit about period. But I am talking so much about periods, taking awareness campaigns, or educating other girls also. So I think this is all happened because of education and awareness, right? So we have successful to educate this particular generation about periods, then definitely this information they will pass on to next generation. मतलब वो जो लड़कियां ये जनरेशन की है, वो अपने बच्चियों को वही सिखाएंगी. मतलब वो एजुकेटेड है तो वो इंफॉर्मेशन उनको पास ऑन करेंगी. तो वन डे वी विल ओवरकम ऑल ऑफ दिस taboos एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस सडन सिचुएशंस कि हम सब अवेयर है. तो ये जनरेशन को एजुकेट करना बहुत जरूरी है. आई थिंक सो. या थैंक यू.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much to each and every one of our panelists. It was an honor and a delight to converse with each one of you. It was such an informative session, and I know I speak for everyone that we are much more knowledgeable on this issue now than we were before. Thank you once again, all the guest speakers. Please feel free to leave the session. Thank you,
थैंक
ma'am.
यू.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
It
so
was
much.
wonderful to be a part of
Thank you,
your
everyone.
discussion.
Thank you, team.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm trying to exit this. I cannot see the leave button.
And there's option of leave studio.
I cannot see it.
I now welcome our article writers Cheshta Sharma, Soptik Devgangi, Shrija Sur, and Bhavya Gagneja to this panel. To everybody who is watching us, these are our four best writers as selected by the Vedana article writing competition who wowed us with their creativity and comprehension. Their perspective intrigued us, and now we would like to know their viewpoint on their article. First, I would like to call Ms. Cheshta Sharma. Cheshta Sharma is a first year student of BA Honours Political Science at Lady Shri Ram College for Women. She looks forward to being a researcher. She loves finding solutions to environmental problems and communicating with people for the same. Cheshta, please unmute yourself.
Uh, I express my
Cheshta,
sincere gratitude to uh,
yeah.
yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Kindly
I
open your camera
request
as well and tell us about your article.
Okay, sure, sure. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each and everyone present here, and I would like to express my gratitude to Project Vedana as well, as it encouraged us to embark on this research project and educate ourselves as well. So, in my research article, I analyzed the environmental footprint of increasing menstrual hygiene in India. Now, increase in menstrual hygiene is a very good thing, but But we must also fathom the possibilities of the harmful impacts that are created due to a good amount of plastic present in one of the most used menstrual product, that is disposable sanitary napkins. Now, even though I went on this research and I wrote the article, my I had to reconcile with my limitations because it is easy to write but not execute, right? So my mind went back to the girls in my village and who had recently shifted to these disposable plastic bags and from dirty jute rags that they had been using until the last year. It is now easier for them to use these bags and throw them away, but it was not that easy for them to use those jute rags because they had to wash it in at night in dark. Now, this hidden secret, which is associated with the word menstruation, is something that is always done harms to the spread of menstrual literacy at large. Now I see those sanitary napkins being thrown away in a beautiful lake in the village. I see those sanitary napkins being dumped underground. The women, of course, don't realize that how harmful it is, and they won't because government and NGOs are the one who are providing them those packets, those 2 rupee packets of sanitary napkins on a monthly basis. So when they conceive that government cares for them, why would they think that something that they're using is that harmful to them? So I must highlight this, that why do we always think that we should turn green? Why can't we begin green? To begin green is to say that when we have this opportunity, when menstrual hygiene is not yet that pervasive in India, and when we are building upon it, why don't we start green in itself? That is to say that why are we providing them with plastic sanitary napkins and not teaching them that they could use clean cotton clothes, wash them in warm water, and then dry it in sunlight, and then reuse them, and of course, dump them underground whenever they wish to. Then, in that way, the menstrual product that they're using would even be decomposable and, of course, sustainable in that manner. For this reason, I believe that the way we are embarking on spreading menstrual literacy needs to be revamped, it needs to be rejuvenated, and this could only be done when menstrual hygiene is made, when menstruation is made a greater health issue, a greater economic issue. That is to say, if these women are engaged in manufacturing, say, menstrual cups, if they engage in manufacturing menstrual cloth napkins and then selling them, then of course, first of all, they would themselves be using them, and second, the taboo around menstruation would also be mitigated because then menstruation would become a greater economic issue. It would become an important part of the household economy, as it would generate income for the households. Then it would no longer remain a hidden issue that cannot be discussed with men in the family. For this reason, I believe that making menstruation a greater health issue, and how it can be made a health issue, that is to say that when NGOs go on in the villages and NGOs tell them that using these plastic sanitary napkins, irrespective of how cheap they are, is causing you harm because it gives rashes to your daughter, it gives her infections, and of course, it is very harmful. Then, when the parents realize these harmful impacts, it would be a better incentive to them to shift to sustainable products like clothes or menstrual cups. And of course, the problem is in accessibility. Now, we also have a silver lining, that is e-commerce, that is so pervasive in underprivileged sections as well. But to all these solutions that I put forward to you, the basic thing that we must first of all achieve is literacy in terms of online literacy, menstrual literacy, and of course awareness. And this literacy could be spread only by NGOs, of course by government, but above all by civil society, that is us. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheshta. Our next article writer is Shrija Sur. She is an English honours graduate from Rani Birla Girls College, University of Kolkata in the year 2020. Currently, she is working in an ed tech company named QA Solvers as an HR executive. Vaishnavi, I would like you to please say something about your article.
Yeah, so Samiksha, thank you so much for introducing me. First of all, I would like to thank Team Sarkari School, Project Vedana, and of course, We Citizens Foundation for organizing this article writing competition, and of course, this amazing conference. Honestly speaking, yesterday we crossed World Menstrual Hygiene Day, but I'm not really sure how many of us have been aware about the have, have been aware about menstruation hygiene days and maybe the use and the need for having a good menstrual hygiene. I have written an article on the influence of social media on periods and menstruation. And in my article, I have discussed how social media has improved the situation or has tried to improve the situation in terms of providing relevant information to young women. Firstly, the conversation that we are having today, this conference, I don't think so it would have been possible without the help of social media. Because of social media and only because of it, we have come this far to break all the stigmas maybe related to it and join a conference and publicly discuss on the topic of menstruation. I think with the advent of television ads mainly, and then after that with Geo coming in the late 2016, Indians were given the choice and liberty to have access to information a lot. I would say a lot more than they had previously because the internet expenses had also come down. So now they had the option to actually look for information and really look for relevant information which they didn't have earlier. Now if we look forward to like opening Instagram or maybe Facebook or YouTube, and if we search for content creators, we will specifically find content creators who are sharing their experience on menstruation, who are actually people who have expertise in the subject. They are sharing their experience, they're educating young women. As a teenager, I remember having no form of exposure in terms of getting relevant information. When I hit my puberty, I didn't have any. I had to rely on maybe my seniors or my friends or elders to get information, and most of them were not correct. We have heard numerous myths regarding periods, from pickles rotting and like change of like having a separate bedding, and a lot of women do believe it till this date. And I think that is the reason, and that is why social media can really help us. It has, to some extent it really has helped us. Now if you see that now the whisper ads which are shown, previously they would show a blue color liquid filling the pads, but I think because women and people in general in the society have raised their voices against it, they have actually shown a clear depiction of how truly it is, like how the true color of blood. And I think that is really important, to show a clear depiction. Like, we do not need to keep women or maybe girls in the dark. Whatever it is, we should discuss the same with them. Beat like, and I think even the men in our society, they are also learning more about it. I think somehow women haven't shared the concept with them, and most of them maybe have tried to help, but they failed because they did not have proper knowledge of the same. But now, with because certain social media influencers or maybe content creators, they are sharing this information, they too can learn about it. And I think this will come to be really handy when they will be having a family of their own. They will be they can truly understand the concern that their sisters or maybe their wives or their daughters might be facing in the future. And I believe India still has a huge path to travel in terms of breaking the stigma and taboo. But somehow rural India has also been influenced. They also have the access to smartphone. Many of them have at this point of time, and they are using it to learning more about safe periods. My fellow speaker Cheshta, she mentioned about using clean, like going green, and using cleaner alternatives. I believe social media and government can join hands and spread information on this particular topic of safe periods. And of course, the importance of having and understanding our bodies completely, so that we can truly help ourselves in problems when we are facing any, and we can discuss about the problems which we are facing, reach out to our families and of course our friends, and have a better world for tomorrow, I believe. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shuja, and thank you for telling us beautifully how we can spread awareness about menstruation through social media and how powerful this platform has become. Now, I would like to invite Soptik. He is an economics honor graduate from Narsinga Dutt College, University of Calcutta in the year 2020. Presently, he is working as a production executive in Mosmi Precautionary and has a keen interest in writing articles and book. Soptik, please unmute yourself and tell us about your article.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, my name is Shoptik Dirghangi, and I am going to be speaking to you today about periods and environment. Let me first congratulate Project Vedana and Sarkari School, and also We Citizens Foundation, who has taken up this initiative to organize such an insightful conference. Yes, periods is not a taboo, but unfortunately, to most of the Indians, especially the ones who are living in rural areas, it is surely to be a taboo. I am here to speak on a topic which is understood by very few people. I think many people are not even aware of it in reality. It is period products and how it's affecting the environment. I have written an article which is named as Red to Green. Let's switch it. No matter how smooth the title looks, the journey isn't it. While researching, I was shocked that in general there are so many less articles and research papers on this topic. Yet it is one of the major contributors of environment degradation. With all the superpowers of the world, China surpassing USA, India becoming a 5 trillion economy, or maybe 10 trillion economy by 2030, it is estimated by 2040 there would be 1.3 billion tons of plastic in the world. We are aware of so many plastic products contributing to the waste, but sanitary pads also contain plastic materials. Why are we not aware of it? Education, the basic of why period is still a taboo in India. People are not even aware that feminine hygiene includes sanitary pads. In India, 70% women use it in urban areas and 40% in rural areas, accounting up to 12.3 billion disposable sanitary pads every year. And it takes almost 800 years to decompose. India is also lacking in social waste management. Proper management of garbage is an issue, with the people getting infected. Many tend to burn pads, which is harmful, and people throw it in ponds and drains and so many other places. It also causes infections, allergies to various parts of the body due to the plastic substance present in it. So what are the alternatives? We are again back to cotton pads. With so much of experiment after inventing sanitary pads in the 20th century, yes, not the best way, but I feel with technological advancement, many new startups are coming up and addressing this issue. Goons is such one who is remodeling it to make it better for us. Menstrual cup. It can be reused and can be used for 10 years almost. It is cost effective, hygienic, and contains no dye. Period underwears. It is something which is used in foreign countries, and it is also another product which can be reused over and over again. But are the big companies taking initiative? I feel no. They are still investing in marketing the sanitary pads. But all these things should come from the bottom as well as from the top. Various state governments are taking initiatives like Kerala, who distributed almost 5,000 menstrual cups during the floods. Government must ensure that this smooth transition towards green menstrual products should take place, and they must also make it available to the remotest of places. Otherwise, the waste generated from sanitary pads will also remain the elephant in the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Soptik. Your article was really very informative and inspiring. Our last but not the least article writer is Bhavya Gagneja. Bhavya is a first year BSc Honours Agriculture student from Govind Vallabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Uttarakhand. She is at utmost joy being here since the topic is something she takes interest in. So, Bhavya, I would like you to please unmute yourself and say a few words about your article.
First of all, I really thank Project Vedana, V Citizen Foundation, and SarkariSchool.com for giving me this opportunity of being here. And then, as it is already said that I'm interested in the topic, I would first of all tell why I'm interested in this topic. So I'm 19 years old right now, and a year before I completed my 12th, and my school life wasn't really good because my menstrual flow was more than usual people, and because of this everybody in my class would know if it is my period day, and it would seriously embarrass me. But then I grew with it and I learned with it, and then I realized that it's okay, and it is if even if it is not accepted right now, it should be. And therefore then I switched to menstrual cups after my 12th, and it was really nice experience. Now I have written this article about periods and environment, and I would tell how periods is affecting environment. Like periods aren't directly isn't directly affecting the environment, but the periods products we use are, because they are mostly made up of plastic. So like we usually use pads in India because other things like tampons and menstrual cups need to be inserted, and reusable cloth pads etc needs to be washed away, and we have this specific thing that periods should be very hygienic, and it is hygienic when we should not and our blood is not hygienic. Like something which comes from your body isn't hygienic? Seriously, you're telling me that something which gives birth to a new life isn't hygienic, and therefore we stay away from it, and other products need to be washed and use things like that, so people usually don't accept it. So I think that's the main problem and causing the main taboos. Now I would like to share my experience of using a menstrual cup. So I have to go at 9 in the morning to my college and come at 5 or maybe at 7 at times, and I won't switch it even once, though according to pads I had so much of flow. And that's really interesting, that how pads are making us realize that we have so much of flow when there isn't. That isn't true. So yeah, that must be changed because we have alternatives. These pads and tampons are basically made up of completely plastic these days. They have bleaches, so they feel good, and then these advertisements show that in blue color to show how unhygienic the blood is and how hygienic we make it when you throw them, and really they are causing much unhygienic conditions in your environment. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhavya, for sharing the gist of your article and sharing your experience with us. Now I invite Deepshika to give a vote of thanks. Deepshika, kindly unmute yourself.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this informative conference. Myself Dipshika, and it is my honor and privilege now to give a vote of thanks to all dignitaries and beyond speaker present here, who despite their busy schedule have found a time to grace this event. Last but not least, I am thanking our viewers, organizing team members, anchor, and volunteer for contribution in this event. All of you worked so hard for the successful completion of this conference. I now announce this panel to be over, and we will be starting another panel in few minutes. I am so grateful for this opportunity. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.